Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the seat of, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. Sorry. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show for this Saturday morning. We have early this morning. In fact, we wanted to come on before time because this morning is such a critical morning and such a big morning. So we come to you this morning from the studios of Portland Spice TV, the original studio of Portland Spice TV. And we thank all our subscribers, all our followers, all the Portland Spice ambassadors. We want to thank you this morning. You know, Pastor called me the other day and Pastor said, Colin, may I watch you from you have 3 subscribers and 3 viewers, and 5 and 7 and 10 and 100. I remember one time this clown, what's she name? She was a PNP, now turned Labourite, was telling Obi that Obi attacked to a man on a platform where only have 7 viewers. We want to thank you all for stick and staying with us and seeing us past 10,000 subscribers. Yeah, man. We have passed the 10,000 mark, and we thank you all, and we give thanks to the Lord Jesus Christ. And we see YouTube saying we congratulations and all these things. It's about the work. As I have said many times, I want to say good morning to the producer who is not in the studio with us this morning. But I know she's with us in spirit and in truth, and she's watching as well. Morning, producer. Morning, France. Morning, Miss Thomas. The entire team over there, you know, holding down things until we return. Hallelujah. That is our job. This is the work given to us by the Lord Jesus Christ. I will continue to pray to him and ask the Lord Jesus Christ to use me, use this channel. Yeah, if you carry your message, use me as your loudspeaker. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, Lord Jesus Christ. You are my strength and my redeemer. When the wicked come down upon us to eat up our flesh, they all stumble and fall down and broke all them neck. Yeah, man. God, Jesus is my protector. He's my guide. Yeah, the Lord Jesus Christ is my shepherd. Colin Bell shall not want. But the Lord Jesus Christ maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He laid me beside the still waters. The Lord Jesus Christ restored my soul. He leadeth me through the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though Colin Bell walk through the valley of the shadows of death, Colin Anthony Shakafie Bell will fear no evil. For the Lord Jesus Christ is with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. The Lord Jesus Christ prepares a table. Yeah? In front of Colin Bell's enemy. The Lord Jesus Christ anointeth Colin Bell head with oil. Colin Shakafie Bell head cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow Colin Shakafie Bell all the days of our lives. And we, the listeners and followers and subscribers of Portland Spice TV, will dwell in the house of the Lord Jesus Christ forever and ever. Yes, man. Who God bless? No man curse. Who God bless? No man curse. Who God bless? No man curse. Things get better when they thought it would be worse. Here comes the Babylon asking for a search and a final weapon. maybe a draw herbs. Maybe. So, welcome everybody this morning. Continue to pray for us. Continue to talk about the channel. Continue to invite people to come for the information. At 9:30, we're going to be talking to Senator Cleveland Tomlinson. At 10 o'clock, we'll be joined by Ralston, the Professor Iman. I never reach out to Obi, but I want to talk to Obi somewhere about 11:15. Don't they so? No, the world is in trouble and living ain't easy. The USA debt is spiraling out of control. And Jamaica, giggling aside, those of you who are on the box of Angela Brownberg, hop off our fender. She never go far enough. The lifting of the mace in the parliament is fair game. It is not something despicable. It is a form of protest. And for those of you clowns and baboons who don't know, use up Google. Ask Google what are the form of protests available to parliamentarians in the houses of parliament, in the Commonwealth. We have this garbage mace representing our former slave masters, those who have enslaved our foreparents. Time come to get that mace out of the parliament. And if you want a symbol, put a symbol representing our people. Something like the coat of arms or something else representing the people of Jamaica. Put the flag in there. Design the flag in a way and put it in there. Since you want a symbol. Those you worshippers of symbols. Now, before I get to 9:30, I have some things I want to lay out to you all. And you all hear about the constitutional case with the Dry Harbour Mountain. And if you're following that case, that is a primary example why NARA, the way it is, should not be passed. And Prime Minister, you see, you have so much clown to follow you. When Dennis Daly says she support the bill, but she don't support why not the bill. You're not going like an idiot. We support fast-tracking development at this time. And we support even an organization to get the work done. But the bill must be structured properly. And call on the family and friends, call everybody, call the labor rights them, because I want to teach them this morning. Because I want to show you why the bill in its present form cannot and should not go through. And I am going to start with a member of the government pointing out why the bill not supposed to go through the way it is. And then I'm going to follow up by an opposition member. And then I'm going to follow up by the ruling of the court on the Dry Harbour Mountain. Because one of the major problems in this NARA issue is Prime Minister Andrew Holness. And the PNP in Parliament, they did not go far enough. Because somebody should have said to the Prime Minister, Prime Minister, you are a part of the problem. Your statutory filings have not been certified for over 4 years. The trust deficit, and let's go to the first clip right now. Listen to this. Well, I'm going to make certain it's there from the start. Call them, you know. Let me see how much people they pay. Well, call the labor right them. Because we have beat all of them this morning. Call them there. Down a nationwide. The GLP mouthpiece. You set a traitors. You are traitors to Jamaica. And when this clown went to the press conference, asked Mark Golding about him statutory filing, you should have bite your big tongue, boy. Because you're not calling on Prime Minister Andrew Holness for his statutory filing and the summary to be presented to the country. You are all set of traitors. Malcolm X said any man who supports a government and that government continues to control 2/3 majority of the government and fail to carry out on their promise, and you continue to support that government, you are not just an invalid, you are a traitor to your country. Those of you don't have GLP mouthpiece, you are all traitors. Those of you on social media supporting rubbish, you are all traitors. Let's start with the first clip from the government side. Listen to this.
Bill, Madam Speaker, should not be as controversial as it is made out to be. I really don't think so. However, I have an appreciation as to why this is the case. Madam Speaker, we exist, unfortunately, and I think there's enough responsibility to go around in a low-trust society where many see actions of our political leaders and governments as sinister, and where some, recognizing the sentiments of a wider population who is cynical, see this as an opportunity to exploit for political advantage. And this is very unfortunate because it does very little to address the issues. What you get instead, Madam Speaker, and this is my own interpretation, not casting any judgment on anyone, is that the arguments that have emanated from this debate up to this point are stimulated by emotive objectives rather than logical, practical, and contextual attempts at finding solutions to a crisis that affect the people that we represent. And I honestly do think that those who allow perfection to be the enemy of good are hurting the over 500,000 Jamaicans in the 5 critical parishes that have been impacted by this hurricane, Category 5, the first ever, while we here debate, prolong, and engage in emotive insinuations. Again, the consequence of a low-trust society. And I do believe...
He's out. He's out. A low-trust society. But then, in behave like there is no reason for that low trust. A low trust society develops when you have a prime minister who is statutory filing cannot be certified by the institution put in place by the government, a creature of the parliament, cannot certify the prime minister. And the prime minister, you think is the CEO, is the single man in this? It is the prime minister. Because the CEO answers to the prime minister. The prime minister answers to nobody. The prime minister wants to be God in this bill here. And I am going to show you now why the low trust exists, Christoph Dan, and why the Speaker of the House got upset at Angela Brownburg and spoke to her like a dog. Listen this.
Not a soul know where they carry them there. The same government makes this even that much harder to vote yes, is that it's being railroaded through Parliament by a government who has no problem in 2017, agreeing to 427 million Jamaican dollars and paying out 50% of that as a deposit for used cars for our police officers without any accountability. Even now, not a soul know where they carry them there. The same government with the ministers spending money on the big birthday cake. Who remember the Nutri-Bullet scandal?
Yeah,
who remember that?
We remember.
Producing less, costing more, with no real accountability for distribution. Anybody here remember CMU and how taxpayers' money was being spent in 2019? The truth is that the same issues In all of those, yeah man, that was the used car scandal we talked about. The same issues, serious procurement breaches, contract bidding rules being breached, payments to connected persons as contractors. And it was the same issue with Petrojam, with Nestle, who remember Western Hospitality Institute, yeah? That many thought was a eat a food prosperity thing I want. So when all these things are on my mind, it makes me very uneasy, yes? I also want to remind us that in most of the cases I've cited, what the Auditor General's recommendation was. It was about adherence to public procurement laws and the transparency of the process. But I guess now we don't have to worry about those because they're not even in there. Yeah? So you can ignore the transparency and you can ignore procurement laws. I believe that we do need, because the government has come here several times talking about the issues with procurement. And I have no difficulty if we believe that there needs to be changes, yes, around public procurement at this time. Then let's do it. Let's say that. Let's begin to see that at work in this bill that is before us. Yeah?
So, this is what I am talking about. When Angela Brownberg laid all that on the table, it basically concurs with what Christofton says, a low trust environment. But Christofton, people not insinuate, people are talking the facts. Everything that Angela Brownberg spoke a while ago are facts, things that took place that all of us are aware of. So how you want to invest so much power? And she went on further. She went further.
On the part 2 of the bill, clause.
Hold on, she went further.
UHWI, market UHWI, Market Me, Cornwall Regional, CMU, WHI, Nestle, Petrojam, the purchase of used school buses, the lack of transparency, the questions around oversight, yes, loom large. They loom large. And then I look on the part 2 of the bill, clause 7, and I see that the minister may appoint a committee to examine and report to the minister on any matter arising out of or connected with any of the authority's powers. But that is me. First of all, I believe that NARA needs a proper oversight committee, where that appointment is not may, but shall, in terms of these kinds of reports and overview. There should also be a mandatory reporting cycle to Parliament, as the opposition leader and others have signaled and suggested. So, Madam Speaker, as I take my seat, I want to say that all of what I have placed on the table does not leave me with a level of trust that would have me voting for this NARA legislation in its current form without specific clauses in the legislation to ensure greater transparency and accountability. Because at the end of the day, it's my children and grandchildren. It is going to be the people of Southwest St. Andrew, in fact, all Jamaicans, who are going to bear the burden of repaying this debt.
Ease out, Lady Angela. So, we're still on this low trust environment. And that is why it must be written in the bill that there will be transparency. The CEO will come to the Parliament at least twice for the year, and every parliamentarian must get a chance to ask questions. You can't hide him. Whatever the Prime Minister is doing must come in writing. I want to play one more clip from Angela and then I go and play the evidence why Prime Minister Andrew Holness does not have the confidence of the Jamaican people to be the sole authority on this bill.
For approvals or other inputs is at large. That the authority is at large. One, to establish timelines for inspections, evaluations, and assessments, as well in 21.2 to set deadlines for decisions for approvals or other inputs made or submitted by the authority. The truth is that I get a sense of a very high-handed approach in how this is worded. And I reiterate that recovery and resilience projects are going to require fast tracking. We understand that. No question about that. But I am sure these approving entities are all on board. And therefore, there must be some way, after all, these are the same entities who are going to have responsibility for post-approval monitoring. Yeah? But NARA is designed to run roughshod over their opinions. And so that's in my head. But then again, I'm thinking that this is the same government with connected persons involved in one way or another with construction, some even being flagged for building breaches.
That causes your problem.
Yes. And therefore I am thinking that the NARA legislation should also include a provision to resolve the objections by agencies. Otherwise, what's the message that we are sending to everyone with an application before those same authorities?
Ease out, Sister Angela. The NARA bill gives the Prime Minister the authority to overrule government agencies and local authority. So the parish council gets a plan for a NARA project and they don't want to pass it or they don't pass it. The Prime Minister can pass it as if it is the parish council that pass it. NEPA gets a plan and NEPA said, no, this is going to damage the environment. The Prime Minister can pass it. Well, before I go to Marshy, the Prime Minister has done that before. The Prime Minister has done that before. NEPA, Forestry, said the Dry Harbor project should not be passed. Andrew Holness passed it. I'm going to play what the court says. I'm going to RGR beyond the headlines with this lady here, Diane Jackson Miller. She was reading from the ruling of the judges. Open the line. Listen this.
Additional reactions to the Constitutional Court's ruling for the Bengal mining lease. And it's a 94-page judgment. It's a very, very thorough judgment. And the court, during the judgment, points to the regulatory authority, that's the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, is having refused the application for the permit. The authority expressly stated that the proposed development should not be approved and identified likely harm to natural resources and public health. They made reference to what they call the trenchant objection from the Forestry Department, identifying irreplaceable loss of dry limestone forests, failure of post-quarry reforestation efforts at other sites, and the importance of the forest, including oxygen production, water filtration, and so on. And then they go down, they say a little later on, and I want to read this because this is really important. They speak about the minister's treatment of the environmental evidence. And of course, this is a minister of what was then economic growth and job creation, now economic growth and infrastructure development, which is the prime minister. It said, and it speaks of his treatment of the environmental evidence. It says the concerns before him were considerable and wide-ranging. They covered biodiversity, hydrology, air quality, public health, scenic value, and the impossibility of restoring the lost forest despite any post-quarry rehabilitation efforts. The NRCA is a body charged by law with environmental protection. Its assessments carry substantial weight. The court said it is not saying that the minister has to agree with the NRCA, but once he chose to disagree, there had to be a clear evidence-based reason justification for doing so. There has to be something explaining why the authority's conclusion was wrong, overstated, or sufficiently answered. There is no such reasoning before the court. And the court said the minister hearing the appeal remained bound by the Constitution. And let me bring in at this point, we still have with us Wendy Lee.
All right. So now hear that. The judge say the prime minister never care about what NEPA and forestry say. Him pass the bill. Well, the court fling it away. It shows why we are in a low trust environment. And we don't trust Prime Minister Andrew Michael Radam Brogard Holness. Marshy morning.
Morning. I see you're on a roll this morning.
Yes, man.
And,
Beating and teaching,
and let
man.
me tell you something. I don't want to break the trend of what you are on because that's serious business. And we see why the speaker did vex with Angela Brownberg.
Yeah, man. That's why I go
understand?
for them clip. They
Because
will
let me
show
tell you,
context.
truth, yeah, man. When truth lick hot. But Amala who fought me really come for this morning, you know. And one part in the Bible were written definitely to Malawi Fort, you know.
Let your yea be yea and your nay be nay.
Oh my God, you know the Bible, man. You know the Bible. James chapter 5 and verse 12, it's written to Malawi Fort, definitely nobody else. Let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. But listen now, lest you fall into condemnation.
Tala.
Malawi Fort, you never read your Bible. Make up your mind and not make the people then can you
a bully, them a bullier. They were bullier.
And bullier, the woman changed the year to nay because of Miss Agnes rougher up.
You mean change the nay to yea?
It changed the nay to yea. That's what Miss Agnes do to her in Parliament. Malawi Fort, you should stand your ground, man. But nobody cannot trust this government because look at the things then. Look how much time we trust Tufton. Look how much time we trust Holness. And Holness continue to breach the Constitution over and over and over and over again. And he might do the same thing. I hope the opposition will take this bill to the court. Because of pure robbery, the things that when you look
you hear what the judges, you hear what the judges said about the prime minister.
Oh God, that's nice.
You hear what the judges said about the prime minister. The man ignore the technical advice.
Yes.
Ignore it without any reason. The court say you can ignore it. You can disagree, but you must have reason, bro, God.
And look, and this is what you want to advise, you know. That's why I'm gonna make up this bill, you know.
Then
because if you even see wrongdoing, you know, this bill.
All right, the man are write corruption into law.
Yes.
They are writing corruption into law.
If you see wrongdoing, you know, if you talk, how much money it will cost you?
How
much them put in there?
About 5 million or 500,000 or 2 million.
So you mustn't talk. You must not say anything. And this is that's why you have people like a Donovan Williams in name.
Sure.
The man that where the councillor Rosie say Matisse.
Yes.
You have Tufton involved in a corruption. You have people like Bobby Montague.
But Tufton
you have
said it
people
best.
like
Tufton said it best. He understands why the bill is controversial. Because we have no problem with wanting to fast track the rebuilding, you know.
No.
But when you don't trust the people at the helm, you have to cross the T's and dot the I's.
Listen, my man. The Prime Minister will want to be there that him to lie. Let me ask you one question. You under any investigation, are you and any of your members?
I have searched far and wide. And the day I heard that, you know, hold on. The day I heard that statement in the marsh, you know what my next question was? But did you ask yourself? The man never asked himself.
Hold on. You want me to tell you something? Call Marlon Morgan this morning. Call
that
him.
Fool.
I'm calling it half with when him at Cafe Tenley.
That
Make
fool.
them come to the class this morning. Call them and make them come dispute anything we have said this morning. Me not break your trend after 30 years. So continue your program because you have to beat and tease this morning.
I have the senator with me this morning. I have Senator Cleveland Tomlinson. Senator, morning. Morning, Senator.
Morning, Comrade Bell. Morning to your listeners.
How you doing?
Viewers, you hearing me?
Yes, man. We're hearing you loud and clear.
Well, and a bit under the weather. Oh, good. A bit under the weather, but you had asked and I made a commitment, so I'm here with you.
Mix up some garlic tea. mix up some garlic tea, my brother.
All right, Comrade.
No, Senator, the bill is now before you in the Senate. You haven't contributed as yet, have you?
No, the opposition has not contributed to the debate as yet. The government has opened the debate and it was suspended yesterday. So they tabled the bill and they opened the debate, but it was suspended for full taking next week. So I believe next week the government will take the bill to its concluding stage. We didn't feel on our side that we had sufficient time to study the bill.
Right.
So we said that it would not be fair for the bill to have been passed in the House on Tuesday and then bring it to the Senate on Friday when there were around 20 amendments that the government made. So we needed sufficient time to study the bill. So we asked and the bill, we will make our contributions next week.
The bill, Senator, on the surface, is a good idea to help rebuild after Hurricane Melissa. Why the opposition have so much issues with this bill?
Yeah. So, and I realize the government and its supporters are seeking warp or distort the opposition's position on the NARA bill. The opposition is
Sorry about that.
not
My
in
bad. Senator?
not
Senator?
against NARA as an entity seeing efforts in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. We support a coordinated unit. We did
Senator Tomlinson, I don't think we're connections are bossy at all. All right, so the senator has rejoined. All right, so let me take down this one, put up this one. Yes, Senator, go ahead now.
Right. So I'm saying that the government and its supporters are seeking to distort the position of the opposition with respect to NARA. The opposition is not against NARA as a coordinating entity seeking to mobilize resources to accelerate the implementation of projects. We did something like that in the aftermath, I believe it was Hurricane Ivan, when Percival James Patterson was Prime Minister. Albeit how we did that coordinating, uh, it was a unit in the office of the Prime Minister. They are seeking to establish a statutory entity. So let's be very clear that the opposition appreciates the utility that can be had through the implementation of an agency such as NARA. The problem that we have with NARA is that the bill that seeks to establish the entity is riddled with several flaws that lend themselves to lack of accountability, lack of probity, poor transparency, and potential misuse and abuse of public resources, and ultimately corruption. This entity, according to the government, will be managing billions and billions of dollars that will be geared towards reconstruction projects. And for the bill to establish an entity such as NARA without there being any clear governance architecture to support oversight is an affront to accountability. And those are the major concerns of your position. Now, I can, with your direction in the conversation, we can look at some of those specific concerns. But the
Yes.
overarching issue that the PNP has is that the bill does not provide for sufficient oversight of NARA. There's lack of transparency and poor accountability mechanisms.
Tell us about your concern about Jamrock, because the government is saying that Jamrock will provide oversight just as EPOC did when we were coming out of the economic meltdown back in 2013.
Yeah, Jamrock, the government has rebuffed concerns that there is not sufficient oversight for NARA and points to the establishment of an advisory board, Jamrock. The challenge with Jamrock, Comrade Bell, is that there is absolutely no reference to Jamrock in the bill. Jamrock is not recognized in law. It has no statutory powers. It has no legal basis on which it can operate. It's really just a performative oversight. It's really just a performative committee. The minister under whose control NARA will fall doesn't have to engage with Jamrock. The CEO doesn't have to engage with Jamrock.
Answer this question. There is nowhere in the bill that Jamrock is referred to.
There is nowhere in the bill that refers to Jamrock. Jamrock has no legal existence in the bill.
But
NARA.
Like they have been saying, EPOC had no legal existence either.
Right. Let's drill down let's drill down and look at the difference between EPOC and Jamrock. And I was at pains to outline this to my Senate colleague Shireen Golden Campbell and all angles last Wednesday. We're operating in two different contexts. When the government of the day at the time, that was our last PNP administration, supported and worked with private sector, civil society, and non-partisan entities to establish EPOC, the Economic Program Oversight Committee. That committee was really established to ensure that government operates consistent with the respective debt and fiscal targets that were agreed to in the IMF program that we underwent at the time. It was not about providing accountability with respect to how projects are managed or how billions of dollars will be spent. It's really about ensuring, EPOC was really about ensuring that the government maintains a particular fiscal surplus, a particular primary surplus. It was to ensure that government was not spending too much than it was collecting in revenues, and that the different institutional changes that were required to be made were ticked. That's a different sort of oversight. That's a different kind of, watchdog in a sense than what would be needed for an entity that has extreme powers, vast powers that can overturn the independent opinion of statutory regulators, an entity that will manage billions of dollars in resources, an entity that invests significant powers in the CEO and in the minister. You need a different kind of oversight committee. You need an oversight committee that is recognized in law, that has the authority to summon the CEO, that has the authority to provide that sort of institutional check.
But the Prime Minister said
yeah,
that's what they are running from, that extra bureaucratic red tape, somebody who you have to answer to and explain every move to.
That's a recipe for corruption. That's a recipe for abuse of public resources. I work in the private sector, Colin Bell. I don't know if you can credibly make the argument that a company in the private sector is inefficient because it has a board. It is just inherent in a corporate governance structure that you must have a board of you must have a board of directors that provides a sort of check and balance on the powers of the chief executive officer. If you look in the bill, significant powers are given to the CEO. In fact, there is no dual sign-in requirement, meaning there's no co-signatory requirement. What that means is that the CEO's signature alone can move billions of dollars, can
so what is wrong with that if you want? What is wrong with that if you want to fast track development and reconstruction of Black River and to rebuild after the hurricane? What is wrong with that?
Yeah, the risk is just too great. The risk for abuse, the risk for implications coming out of poor judgment is simply too great for us to accept it in the name of efficiency. Yes, we want efficiency, but at the same time, we want proper and accountable usage of the money. I worry for money we are talking about, you know, Comrade Bell, is that a little drop of money we are talking about, and irrespective of the quantum of money, it is just par the course. But in any governance structure, you need a board that provides a sort of check and balance on the CEO so that the man operate rogue.
But the Prime Minister, Minister have authority over the CEO. Does the opposition have a problem with the Prime Minister having the kind of authority that this bill will give him?
It compounds the very same problem that we're talking about with respect to the absence of a board, because the bill gives significant operational powers to the minister. Generally, Comrade Bell, you know that how the governance framework works with the political directorate is that ministers generally operate at the policy level. They set the policy framework, and at the ministries, departments, and agencies level is the operations and the execution. Generally, the minister is not involved in the operations. That is not what is going to happen with NARA. In fact, the bill says that the minister can direct the entity to make any kind of decision, in a sense, can disregard anything, can accept anything. That essentially means that the Prime Minister or the minister, it will be the Prime Minister who has control of NARA, the minister can involve himself in the operations of NARA. So the CEO might be of a particular perspective about what is to be done. The minister can tell him, no, don't do that. I instruct you to do X, which might not be.
Is that the problem the opposition is having, that the Prime Minister basically going to run NARA?
It's one of the challenges that we have. He might not be on the ground doing the day-to-day because the CEO will be there, but at any time, he has the authority to instruct the CEO to act in a particular regard. That's a major problem. The Prime Minister should not be, the Minister should not be involved in the operations of NARA in that regard. One of the more concerning powers that has been given to NARA is that the minister has stepping powers.
Mm-hmm.
What do I mean by that? It means that NARA can bring, let's say NARA wants to execute a project. You know, generally to engage in a development, you need NEPA to give an approval that it's safe and sound and it will not have negative implications for the environment. You need a local authority, let's say the KCMC, to provide approval to ensure that building plans and permits are consistent with the code required by law. NARA can bring those entities together, let's say KCMC and NEPA, and NARA can instruct them on how to treat with the applications. So NARA can say, listen, I need you to give me back this in 1 week. I needed to give him back this in 2 days, 3 days. Maybe that is not perhaps the more concerning part because you do
Right.
want efficiency in the execution of the projects. But here's the difficult part that we cannot accept. If NEPA and KCMC provides an opinion that is adverse to what NARA wants, and that is not in favor of NARA, NARA can write to the minister and say, listen, NEPA and KCMC have ruled in a way that is not in our favor. And the minister, if satisfied,
The Prime
can
Minister,
overturn
Senator, said the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister.
People, hold on, Senator, you see on this platform, we are very simple people. So
Yeah,
we simplify things. We don't want it complicated. Just make it known that it is the Prime Minister. Andrew Michael Holness we're talking about. Continue.
Yeah, the Prime Minister will have control of NARA. The Prime Minister can intervene, set aside the independent judgment and opinion, the statutory independent, I would say, authority. The Prime Minister can overturn that and issue a new order, and it will have the effect as though it was issued by NEPA or KCMC. That is
hold on a little further. The NEPA have technical people in environment. So when NEPA pass a bill in our a project, it would have met the technical assessment of the technicians at NEPA.
Precisely so.
So does the municipal corporations or the KSMC. They have technical people, they have the engineers. The Prime Minister can overrule all of that. And pass the project. Which he has done before, Senator.
We had a very timely ruling yesterday.
Senator. Hold on, don't say a word. Because those of you who are just joining us, the Prime Minister of Jamaica has overruled NEPA and forestry. And I want to play from RGR Diane Jackson Miller. She read a part of the judge's ruling. And I want you all to listen to this.
Additional reactions to the Constitutional Court's ruling for the Bengal mining lease. And it's a 94-page judgment. It's a very, very thorough judgment. And the court, during the judgment, points to the regulatory authority, that's the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, is having refused the application for the permit. The authority expressly stated that the proposed development should not be approved and identified likely harm to natural resources and public health. They made reference to what they call the trenchant objection from the Forestry Department, identifying irreplaceable loss of dry limestone forests, failure of post-quarry reforestation efforts at other sites, and the importance of the forest, including oxygen production, water filtration, and so on. And then they go down, they say a little later on, and I want to read this because this is really important. They speak about the minister's treatment of the environmental evidence. And of course, this is a minister of what was then economic growth and job creation, now economic growth and infrastructure development, which is the Prime Minister. It said, and it speaks of his treatment of the environmental evidence. It says the concerns before him were considerable and wide-ranging. They covered biodiversity, hydrology, air quality, public health, scenic value, and the impossibility of restoring the lost forest despite any post-quarry rehabilitation efforts. The NRCA is a body charged by law with environmental protection. Its assessments carry substantial weight. The court said it is not saying that the minister has to agree with the NRCA, but once he chose to disagree, there had to be a clear evidence-based reason justification for doing so. There has to be something explaining why the authority's conclusion was wrong, overstated, or sufficiently answered. There is no such reasoning before the court. And the court said the minister hearing the appeal remained bound by the Constitution. And let me bring in at this point, we still have with us Wendy Lee.
All right. So Senator, what do you have to say about that now?
That ruling was God sent. It was timely.
Tell her.
Yeah.
Tell her.
What it does is that it reveals to the people the risk associated with stepping powers being granted to a minister. Because let's be very clear, what happened with the Bengal NEPA situation could very well be an occurrence in the Nara situation. So
And-
let's be very clear about
And
that.
isn't it evidence that the Prime Minister don't need reasons and technical support to make him decision? Even in this case, the technical support was there and him just discard it.
Yeah, the Prime Minister has a contempt for the Constitution, you know. And
That is it.
don't. Yeah, I believe, in my estimation, from what I see, if you look at the treatment of certain legislations in the Parliament, how he runs them through the Parliament without due consideration to the valid points being made by the opposition, the number of constitutional cases that they have lost, you know, and had they listened to the opposition and civil society, they would not have found themselves in that position. From that, one can only reasonably conclude that the Prime Minister has a contempt for the Constitution and doesn't feel as if he must be bound by anything. I find that to be very dangerous, particularly in the context that Nara will fall under his authority. I am not comfortable with that.
Listeners and viewers, subscribers, if you're just joining us, we're talking to Senator Cleveland Tomlinson. We're talking about the NARA bill. It is now before the Senate. The government has tabled it in the Senate. The opposition has not made any contribution thus far. So we're looking at maybe next week, Friday. But we're still talking about issues relating to how this bill will be governed and what governs the bill. It's not that we are against fast-tracking recovery, but how do we do it? Cleveland, what portion of weight the fact that the Prime Minister statutory filing over the last 4 years cannot be certified, what kind of weight we put on that?
Well, the Prime Minister still, you know, operates under a cloud of corruption. The inability of the Integrity Commission to certify statutory declarations from way back as well, 2021, I believe.
Yes.
Reveals to us that the IC has substantial concerns about how he has conducted his financial affairs. And we can recall the Integrity Commission reports that were released that brought the Prime Minister to make a statement in the Parliament denouncing, and questioning the validity of the report. The matter is in the courts now, so we await that outcome. But the reality is that, the Integrity Commission was not satisfied that the Prime Minister conducted his personal financial affairs in a way that would be consistent with what is required of a public official, and hence they launched an investigation, made some conclusions about a lot of things. So the reality is that this cloud that hovers the Prime Minister is still there. As long as his statutory declarations remain uncertified, he operates under a cloud of corruption.
Should that be mentioned in this debate, knowing that the Prime Minister will have awesome powers and he's asking us to trust him, even after, listen what Chris Tufton said in his presentation.
Speaker, should not be as controversial as it is made out to be. I really don't think so. However, I have an appreciation as to why this is the case. Madam Speaker, we exist, unfortunately, and I think there's enough responsibility to go around in a low trust society where many see actions of our political.
That's Christopher Tufton. He says we exist in a low trust society. Is that true?
Yes, we do. And he's very correct. And, he has contributed to that low trust environment.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And he,
Oh,
when he says there's a lot of blame to go around,
oh yeah.
I hope that in that he's accepting his culpability and his part to play in that low trust environment. Because when we look at Cornwall Regional Hospital, and I think that ought to be the mother of scandals in the Western region.
And grandmother.
And grandmother, if not great grandmother too,
And
because
Christoph Dan is the father.
yeah, man. Remember, Cornwall Regional was first. The reconstruction efforts began in the first term of the administration, the first
Yes.
term in
Yes.
2016, and now they are in the third term, and the project is nowhere near completed. And what was originally designed to be a $5 billion rehabilitation project has magically ballooned to over 20 billion. In fact, the last estimate that was provided by I think it was the Gleaner, was in the region of $24 billion. Consistent delays, lack of accountability. That is disgraceful. So, what has happened with Cornwall Regional, the billions that we have allocated over the years, has contributed to the low trust environment. So he should take some responsibility there.
Should the opposition explain to the nation and indeed in the parliament that this low trust is a result of the prime minister, people like Christoph Dan? Angela Brownberg did point to some of the issues that caused that low trust environment. But should the opposition speak directly to the prime minister on his issue with the statutory filing and trusting the prime minister with this awesome power that NARA will give him?
Yeah, the prime minister really just has to accept that he's asking of the people to invest in him and his government significant confidence regarding the vast powers that he wants to be given to NARA, which will fall under his control. Then, when he accepts that, he must also accept that the issues surrounding him and his statutory declarations with the Integrity Commission and the many questionable acts that have come out in various Auditor General's report and Integrity Commission's report regarding the conduct of his ministers and ministries, departments, and agencies under his government's oversight would lend themselves to people just simply not being confident to give them that much power. The prime minister really just has to accept that this is just a liability.
But in this bill, should somebody remind him of this?
Of course, Dr. Brownberg, I think, started the conversation in that regard in a very good way when she was, reminding the Jamaican people of the many acts that were, questionable acts, things that were not consistent with good governance and accountability that, have emerged under Holness government. We'll continue that part in the Senate. I'm refining my presentation, and the people can look forward to that being a part of my presentation, because we have to remind those in the Senate as well that you have not operated and conducted yourselves in a way that would be consistent with someone legitimately coming now to ask the people for this much confidence regarding this degree of power that you want in NARA.
As a parliamentary and senator, I couldn't allow you to come here this morning and I don't ask you about our chairman, my chairman, your chairman, Dr. Angela Brownberg, lifting the mace in parliament. What are your views?
I said to Dion on Wednesday that I can be sympathetic to the motivation that drove our chairman to engage with the mace. I understand that following several attempts to be recognized by the speaker to make an intervention in the parliament on that day, the member was frustrated, and understandably so, because there has been a clear partisan vulgarity with which the speaker has been managing the proceedings of the House. Many acts that are inconsistent with the impartiality that should be a cornerstone of the office of the speaker. She shuts off the microphone of the leader of the opposition on many occasions. I recall in the first parliament around last year, we had to do a walkout, in parliament because she did that to the leader of the opposition. She has refused to acknowledge our members when they want to rise on a point of order to make an intervention in the debate. And she has really been very partisan in her behavior, very spiteful, in fact, very vulgar. I think it's very distasteful. I'm very unhappy that she's in the speaker's chair. The opposition did not support her assuming that role in the second when following the election in 2025. And she really ought to reflect on how she is tainting the office of the speaker for her own partisan agenda. And it's very disgraceful. I'm very disappointed in her because I'll be honest, when she first became speaker, following the disgraceful exit of the former speaker Marisa Dalrymple Philibert, you remember the Integrity Commission case that led to her having to step aside. When people said, that the Prime Minister's wife should not be speaker, I was a bit more sympathetic to her becoming speaker because I was saying to myself, she is a member of parliament in her own right and should be viewed as an MP in her own right before being viewed as a wife of the Prime Minister. But I had to recalibrate that view. I recall the opposition had no objection. In fact, the opposition had supported the nomination the first time when
the
she
first
became
time
speaker
Philip Paul will second the nomination.
Right, because the opposition was operating with the same degree of understanding that I just expressed. She's a member of parliament in her own right, etc. And we expected that she would operate above the partisan fray. Oh, we have been very, very shocked
Senator,
at how she has conducted the House.
I said it the other day at a place where we both were, that the PNP need to start doing some politics. We're not doing enough politics. We're doing governance like a we in a government. We need to do some politics because
we need
one of the reasons why the Juliet should not be speaker. She takes everything personal and as an attack against her husband. And you can't walk away from that. Two becomes one. And you can't get away from it.
I've seen, and she has clearly demonstrated that she's unable to separate the office of a speaker from her own partisan agenda and from the desire to protect her party, her government, and her husband. And to the extent that she's unable to do that, she should demit the office of speaker. I would love if she steps aside, to be very honest, because what she's doing is impairing the public perception about what the office of the speaker should be. And the office of the speaker is a very critical role, as the speaker is the umpire of the parliament's proceedings and must ensure that there's fairness in the conduct of the parliament's business and that the people's representative, irrespective of the side that they're on, should be given a fair degree of accommodation in the House. And she has failed to do that. And I'm very disappointed, and I think she should step aside.
So Angela, our chairman, should apologize or has apologized or have accepted some wrongdoing. What are your views on that?
Yeah, I think our chairman was very mature about looking at what I did. Clearly, if you go by the standing orders, was inconsistent with the standing orders, and she expressed that. She expressed that it doesn't accord with good parliamentary conduct. Yes, we can say that, but again, consideration has to be given to context. Context is so very important.
Context matters.
Context matters, and like I said from the outset, I would have been frustrated after around 5 attempts to get the attention of the speaker, and I understand that she did see our member trying to get her attention.
Let me share my disappointment with the senator, because I am disappointed with my chairman, and I tell you why. She should have taken up the mace and run out of the parliament, shut down the thing, write the history books, make people see it. And then you see how she done that, I will be here this morning saying no retreat, no surrender, suspend we. Give with the suspension, because there is reason for that kind of protest. And in my research, after it happened, my research tells me that taking up the mace is an available protest to parliamentarians. It is not something despicable. It's not something disgraceful. And if you are really protesting, it is fair game.
The concerns of the opposition and the concerns of our chairman are very valid, and they must be addressed. And we'll have to continue to find ways to really express our dissatisfaction. And really, a big part of it will come down to public outrage. I would really love if the public watches Parliament more frequently and more intimately, understand what's happening in the Parliament, and realize that the Speaker's conduct is unacceptable. I would really love for there to be a greater public buy-in with what the opposition is saying regarding the Speaker's conduct, because it has to be addressed. The next general election is not expected until 2030, constitutionally due until 2030. We have 4 more years and a bit more months to go, and we cannot operate in this climate with the Speaker acting as she, we're heading on a collision course.
All right, so before I let you go, Senator, tell us what we can expect from the senators as it relates to debating this bill in the Parliament. Maybe Friday?
Yes. As at now, we expect that the debate will continue next Friday. The government has not issued a notice that will meet us yet, but we anticipate that the debate will continue, given the urgency that the government wants to push this through. So you can anticipate that the senators are doing rigorous assessment of the bill. On Friday, whenever we meet to debate, we will continue the very strong demonstration and very strong articulation that was on display by our members in the lower house. We'll continue to reiterate the concerns of the opposition, and we will not relent. So I would encourage the public, I would encourage our comrades to tune in and to watch the Senate and to take into consideration the very serious and valid points that we'll be making. 2 civil society agencies, entities, organizations rather, JET and JFJ have sent us, all senators on both sides have sent us a supplementary document that they did, further assessing the bill and making additional recommendations. We have gone through that, and we're caucusing this week again to refine our strategy, but we will be a powerful force in the Senate when we're debating the bill.
Senator, thank you for your time this morning. All the best, and we're looking forward to hearing you and the other senators from the opposition in the Parliament whenever the government decides that it will be held. One love, my brother.
Yeah, man, all the best. Blessings, Comrade Bell.
Blessings. Senator Cleveland Tomlinson joining us this morning. And we had Junior holding from him start, 33 minutes. Junior!
Morning. How are you?
Thanks for your patience, my brother. We're there here, opening eyes and teaching people. Talk to me.
Well, I learned from Angela.
You learn from Angela?
When you learn from Angela, yeah, patience.
Patience.
Now, I heard you playing a tape earlier with the father of corruption. And you were talking about trust. I remember my English teacher teaching me about irony.
Yes.
And what is irony?
Yes.
Now, remember the same Christopher Tufton taking Andrew Willis to court to save him senatorial seat.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Tell her. Junior, that's why you have to call every morning, because you remind us of these things. No, did Christopher Tufton join the case? He was a part of
And win the case.
Yes,
and win the case.
No, was he a part of the case? Or him piggyback on the ruling?
It was him and
Arthur Williams.
Williams. Arthur Williams.
Yes.
And then now remember him win the case. And Andrew Woods appeal the case.
And then
You
win
remember?
and then win again.
And then win again. And then get back in senatorial position. So when I hear that element talking about trust deficit,
But him right.
say,
Him right. There is a
right.
trust deficit.
him right.
We are living in a
Because
low trust society. We don't trust them.
You can imagine? And then we have to really laugh when we realize what happened in our parliament tonight. You remember Beauty and the Beast?
Talk to me. Remember a story.
You know, say what going on in a parliament is a woman thing. We don't forget yourself to involve and caught up tonight. If a woman ugly, you know, that's how she behave, you know.
Go again. What you say?
Ugly women behave like how Juliet behaves. When a woman ugly, that's how she behave. That's how she treats someone like better than she behave.
You have to take bad things, make laugh.
So you say you're old like me, you can learn and know things about one, you know. No ugly woman, don't like no pretty girl. Let me tell
Hallelujah.
you that. And if a woman better looking than you and a cut more than you to behave that way,
My God.
she behave like a Jezebel, you know.
Tell her, no, skala. Tell her. Hold on, the junior. Hold on, junior. Hold on.
Tell them to try pre-wee, big up Portland Spice TV. Tell them to try pre-wee, big up Portland Spice TV.
Junior, where you say?
Oi.
Where you say, Liko?
I said, do one behave like a Jezebel.
My God.
All right. Make look on the number game what the Jamaica Labour Party are playing. Because the number game, you know. Make go follow it. How many PMP MP in Parliament?
28.
28. What day was the hurricane?
The 28th of October.
What day was the bill being passed?
Yeah, Junior. What day was the what?
The bill being passed.
Was it the 28th? I think it was the 28th, Tuesday, the 28th of
the 28th.
6 months to be exact after the hurricane and them talking about quick. No left in that.
I remember, you know, it's like about 28. We have 28 back account.
Holy moly, Scott. What happened?
And I remember that 28 pressure groups. I look up against the bill.
What is this 28th? Hey, tell her.
Right. So somebody I play 28. So you realize what happened? You see the action at the speaker when the gate was touched. Don't you touch that. She was so arrogant.
She got so hungry. How many bank accounts?
Because like you're breaking a spell.
Yes.
It's like you're breaking a spell.
Out.
Hey. Yes. So the nanny spirit wake up in Angela. You know something? It's got to talk to Angela to touch him yet.
Hold on there, Junior. Hold on there.
To the amendment being suggested. That's what I got from her statement. The nays 27 and absent 3 amended. Next clause, pilot
I wish
of the
to
bill.
put clause 5, 6, and 7 without amendments.
5, 6, and 7 without amendments. Members, the person piloting the bill, that's not a joke, you know. 5, 6, and 7.
Hold on there, you hear her now. See it, you know?
Don't ever do that, member. Marshall, please. Angela Brown-Burke, I name you. Outside.
Outside.
Marshall,
Outside.
go for her.
You pick up. It's like you do something. It's like you commit the cardinal sin.
May I tell
to
you?
touch me, you know.
May I tell you?
Because you break the spell.
Touching the mace is
You're
not no
breaking the
disgrace. Lifting up
No,
the mace
because
and
what
taking
happens-
it up is not a disgrace, it's a defiance.
Them battling not reach
It's a
already.
protest. My only problem is that Angela should have run through the door already and fling you away. Stop
Me
the
and you talk
sitting.
about that a couple of weeks ago, you remember?
What did it
You
remind
remember
me?
say me and you talk about the same thing a couple of weeks ago?
Because I have always said that if I am in the parliament and them a go on, I mean, me I take up a mace and run out.
Why? If you walk out to the parliament, walk around the 4 years where you come out. Don't sit up and come out.
Yes,
But
no
people in
lefty.
Jamaica don't realize that they means, all right, no matter what they say can't keep two citizenship.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yes.
Then one of the citizenship of Mark Goldie we have in the Commonwealth.
Yes.
So what the means represent the Commonwealth.
Mace represent the
No
king.
country want to Commonwealth country not no means, you know.
Mhm.
So what them people really are trying to say, what do I say? Because we can't, for the life of me understand. Because everybody I look out say, oh, I got thought meals. And yet at the same time I give them monarchy. How the world end up in the same time then?
Up in them feelings.
Hmm?
And Ed Bartlett did take you up and walk
Them
out the
are-
door. Remember Ed Bartlett did take you up and walk out the door with you, you know?
Yes. And if you do I open and go outside,
Was he suspended? I don't remember if he did get suspension.
a PMP in the poor, they're not suspended for that.
Was
They're
he?
not-
We
not
need to check.
illegal.
Somebody check
You
that
got
and tell me.
protest.
Somebody, one of
No,
the
you know.
ambassadors, Rolanda Jr. I need somebody to check if Ed
Yeah.
Bartlett got suspended when he took up the mace and walked to the door with it. I want to know. Check it for me, please. Anyway, Junior, I could run now and take some other calls before Ralston join.
Before me go,
Yes.
before me go,
Yes.
it's about this narrowing.
Oh?
When I think about this narrowing, you know,
Yes.
you know, like you're there, a man come in the house and rape your daughter, and you can't do nothing about it.
Box fire. That heavy.
I said, no, me look like to me, you know, like you, a man come in your yard and do your daughter, why you want your daughter, you know? And you can't make no nice, because we make nice, then punish you. I see him see good narrowing, you know, so I'm going to Babingan.
All
You
right.
know, see how overpower NEPA
Yes.
and
And
the
then
backside of his face.
and the court slap him in the face.
Even if you realize you're narrowing, I see him thing
All right, Junior. I am
tomorrow.
blessings. I am disappointed to see so many people in the chat room saying that Chris Tufton was not suspended. No, he was not suspended. No, he didn't get any suspension. How about this? And then I bet you them all suspend Dr. Angela Brownberg. You think Labour right kin teeth? PNP love ramp with them too much. That's why I say Angela should have take up the mace, come out of the parliament, fling it through the window like the man of Bahamas. Go ahead, caller. Morning and welcome.
Morning, sir. Question to you. That name that they're using for that dancehall sound, what the name they use for is what? I can't quite remember the name again.
Which one?
That they're using for.
You mean the new dancehall rhythm? The new dancehall rhythm we out there now?
No, not the dancehall rhythm. The name that them are using for part of the bill that they're passing.
Nara?
It's like no, not the Nara.
Which bill that?
I'm trying to remember the name that they're using. But it's like it's a dancehall sound name, you know. Remember, it's a sound name they're using, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about. A sound name.
I was just wondering if that's the sound can the name of the song for the owner of the song can be used. If the name patent They can sue them and say they can't use the name without their consent.
Me don't know what you're talking about. Nara, me don't know no sound name Nara.
No, not Nara, man, not the Nara. There's another name within the bill, the Nara building.
Jamrock.
Jamrock.
A restaurant. You remember one restaurant in that New Kingston named Jamrock too, you know? And the sound, there's a sound named Jamrock.
So the sound named Jamrock, I wonder if Jamrock can sue them for using their name.
I don't know.
All right.
And it's the government too, so Jamrock, Jamaica. All right. All right, my brother. I hear you.
Yeah, my cool.
1-876-804-7072. We're taking your calls. Ralston Hyman will join us soon because they have held the cap on the increase per liter of gas. They are still holding it at $4.50. And we say thanks to Portland Spice TV, thanks to Ralston Hyman. For that, we came up with the idea that we should bawl out, call out, shout out for the government not to increase the cap on a liter of gas. Yeah? And therefore, we are happy that they have held it. Yeah, man. The Jamaican people can't manage no more increase. And we spoke to Ralston earlier this week about the continuous increase of $4.50 per liter. That is also heavy, you know. That continuous increase. Ed Bartlett was not suspended because he apologized. Yeah. Well, Angela Brownberg apologized too. But I will bet you all that she will be suspended. Them labor right you know like PNP. Me can't tell you that. You see the amount of bad word where one parliamentary and a cuss during the presentation. Then hold on. Me have one clip you have to play for now. Because listen this year one year. You know listen this year one year where never member say she buy Benz. Listen this.
To refer to people on this side as puss and butt against puss mouth. That is for your election campaign, which you lost. You lost it. You lost the elections. And this is a government that the people have chosen. And I say to you tonight that your speaker said Jamaicans are going to judge us. They have judged us. That is why, despite the viciousness of the election campaign, this government is now the government of Jamaica. I'm saying.
This are the woman who buy a Mercedes Benz with government concession. Yeah? And say she not have no Benz. Because what you did, Marisa Dalrymple Philibert, was illegal. That's why we can't trust you. No. That's why we cannot trust you. No. But we don't want full powers. I want to talk to the president of the People's National Party. Because I want some assurance that this bill will go to the court. I want to hear if there are legal grounds to take it to court. Prime Minister Andrew Holness must not get those powers seeking to make laws. And that the man do. Seeking to overturn ruling of people with technical competence that he does not possess. Yeah? You have done it already, Mr. Prime Minister. And the court said you were wrong. You know what they said in the debate? That the government has been incompetent, you know. They said it in the debate. that the government has been incompetent, inefficient. Morning, welcome to the Colin Bell Show. Caller, good morning.
Morning, Colin. How you doing?
Morning, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, man, good. And to you and your listeners.
Yes, sir. Blessings.
2 quick points. So, I'm saying, we have a trust. Junior said, the boss give them blank paper for sign. And then he governor general.
Yeah, because Andrew never trust him, you know.
Resign.
Andrew never trust him. So if Andrew never trust him, why should we trust him?
If you give man blank paper for sign and then resign, when he never resigned. Right. Next thing, with the Marshy said, make a knee be here, knee and your be here. I couldn't believe when the vote come, I'm here, mother who said yes.
Did she say yes first, or she said nay first, and them start bully her and she say yes?
I have not hear about the nay part in a speaker say, somebody beside her.
Hold on, listen to this, because I made sure my clip was cut from this, so, you know, because context matters.
Objecting to the amendment.
Listen.
Objecting to the amendment being suggested. That's what I got from her statement. So let me tell you, members, the ayes 32, the nays 27, and absent 3. Members, the clause carries as amended. Next clause, pilot
I wish
of the
to
bill.
put clause 5, 6, and 7 without amendments.
They were bullying her to say what them want her to say.
Okay.
And I guess in the fear of not being accepted by them after this, she caved in. But Marshy said it. Okay. Let your yea be your yea and your nay be your yea. All right, my brother. Respect.
One quick one. Quick.
Go ahead.
That room for Philbert.
Yes.
She should not say nothing, you know.
No.
She this junior minister. I see him what try and find her guilty.
That me I wonder if that right, or you put her ahead of the court.
She a junior minister. Yeah.
Not the justice minister.
Find her guilty.
Well, I guess them find her guilty. I guess they find her guilty already. Does she have case in front of the court? Does Marissa Dalrymple have case in front of the court to answer to? Hey, that's something we need to find out.
Don't know.
We need to find that out. Have a good morning, sir. Thanks for the call.
All right.
1-876-804-7072. Rally's on the road. As soon as he's in a position, we'll be talking to Ralston Iman. We're taking your calls on the Colin Bell Show. Where the labor right them there? We don't have no shame. Never you can't call this morning, you know. Because this no good. When Juliet Oldness behave like a virago. Caller, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. We're live on Portland Spice TV.
Now let me go downstairs.
Yeah, man.
Hear me.
All right, I want to hear you well.
Yeah, man. What may I say, eh?
Yes.
If we stop say labor right not like PMP. Labor right not like truth. That's if we say.
That is also true.
Yeah, but the truth is the truth. You see. That is what it really is, you know.
No, but there is an issue, you know, because you have a whole PNP run up them out, but them and this labor right, your friend, and labor right not like PNP. And when it come down to the nitty-gritty, them no skin teeth with PNP. Watch if them now go suspend Dr. Angela Brownberg.
Well, if them not go suspend her, well, see what happens still. Let me go see what happens. Me just can't tell you, so me not like the idea of them not labor right not like PNP. Me think, based from what I can see, right? If you sit down on the fence and look on both the PNP and the JLP, right? When you confront the Labour Party with truth, they don't like it. Look what lady name? The lady was speak the truth on for them side.
Marlene Malawu Fort.
Malawu Fort. Bottom line is that them don't, even if them horn and them tell them the truth, them don't like you.
Yeah, man. But may I tell you this? Them not like truth, but anybody who is a Labourite, don't get it twisted. Them not like no PNP. May I tell you, them hate PNP with a passion.
Well, me always
All when
say,
them a smile with you, remember me tell you, anytime them get a chance to done you, them a done you. Yeah, man, and me can speak to evidence of that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we can see a lot of evidence of that. We can vouch for that too.
Yeah, man.
You know.
So,
but we just see it as them. We just always see it as that when they are confronted by the truth, they don't like you.
No, man, them no like truth. Them and truth no plan gungu line. Truth, they eat truth like how devil eat holy water.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
You know.
All right, my brother. Respect and thanks.
All right, you take care now. All right,
yeah,
bye-bye.
1-876-804-7072. Prime Minister Andrew Holness want what is called stepping orders. If a project goes to NEPA and NEPA refuse to pass that project, Prime Minister Andrew Holness will pass that project like NEPA passed it. Rally morning.
Morning.
Wagwan, my brother.
Yeah, me there, Wagwan.
Me know say you're up on the road. Wagwan up at Digicel this morning with you.
Yeah, me I said to you, say, we want the boss at Digital for no say. The customer service up on them Legally branch, very poor. Not only me I say that, everybody are coming there customer. We have two youth working there, one named Kaden and one named Timothy, a good youth. But people always a check say a man bad. The woman them, I be a gossip them in the man them place. This morning me up there, I do some business. And I be a gossip them there and when we said to the lady, say, lady, I forgot. Her response was, only two on me have.
And she was not serving anybody at the time?
No, she just a chat to the next one round the counter. So I know them say the man them bad. And the man them two youth there, Timothy and Kaden. And them attend to the customers them in the most courteous way. The woman them a chat to them one and when I said to her, I said, babe, I forgot. I only two on me have. I said to her, I say I deal with man them business. We have to make your boss know about that. So what I tell the boss now at Digicel, say, yo, him need to do something about him legal on the branch. The woman them in there run where the customers them with them out of behavior. Yeah, legal on the sovereign branch.
All right, sir. Loud and clear, it's out there. Raleigh, give us an update of what happened this week in the market in Jamaica's financial sector.
Well, a whole lot of things happened. The Bank of Jamaica wanted to mop up 35 billion. Them got 44 billion. We got the trade numbers. The trade deficit is now 500 million bigger than last year. Woo. So we could just get the stats then.
Yes.
Imports were up by 3.2% to 7.5 billion. Exports tumbled. Listen to me. Exports tumbled by 13.4% to 1.6 billion.
Hold on.
You get that?
Go again. Import was how much?
7.5 billion.
7.5.
3.2%. Full year last year. 3.2% to 7.5 billion.
Export down.
Exports by 13.4%. So that tell you about the production of the country to 1.6 billion.
1.6 billion last year we export. So the trade deficit is
right.
5.8
billion. Yeah, man.
Massive trade deficit.
Compared with 5.4 billion in 2024. All right. Here's the thing now.
Yeah.
The raw material bill was 2.2 billion.
Yes.
The food and consumer goods bill was 2.1 billion.
Food. Oil.
The oil bill was 1.7 billion.
And what else?
Capital goods bill was 97 million.
97 million.
797 million.
797 million.
And the car bill was 624 million. So we import 624 million in cars last year.
624 million in cars.
Yes.
Do we need that?
All right, you always say no.
Is that a need?
Need what? No, and that is why some people like Professor Anthony Clayton say, yo, as may I tell you, the amount of cars on the road increased fourfold over the last 20 years. Yeah, while we not spend a portion of money on road infrastructure and everything there. In terms of our exporting,
yeah,
was only 803.3 million in manufactured items. Mining, bauxite and alumina, quarrying, 624 million. Importantly, agriculture was only 62 million.
$62 million in agriculture.
Yeah, but we import 2.1 billion.
Really?
Yeah.
$62 million in agriculture. I can remember the coffee industry been saying, spend some money and we can increase our export to 100 million.
All right.
In coffee alone.
You get it.
So the government has been derelict in their duty, bro.
Yeah, man, in terms of production, the country not produce nothing. All we do is take on more debt. Yeah? So, that's the situation. Now, 2.8 billion of the imports come from USA, 878 million from China, 396 million from Brazil, 229.7 million from Japan, and 279 million from Trinidad. In terms of the exports, 667 million go to USA, 186 million to Russian Federation, Iceland 112.4 million, Canada 100 million, and the Netherlands 81.9 million.
How much do we export to the Caribbean, Raleigh? Give me that figure, please.
I'll go for the talk about it. The CARICOM was only 182 million last year.
$182 million to
but
the
import,
entire CARICOM.
Yeah, but we import 473 million from them. So we are run almost a 300 million trade deficit with CARICOM.
But hold on, Raleigh. Not just tell us how much we import from Trinidad alone.
Yeah.
200. How much is it? 200. How much from Trinidad?
279 million from Trinidad, which is oil, basically oil.
So we import more from Trinidad alone
than what we export to the whole region.
Than what we export to Trinidad.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
to the whole CARICOM.
Export to the entire region.
Yeah.
My God. My God.
So that tells you about production.
I have a caller.
Yeah, go ahead.
You the caller I want to talk to. Hold on, let me hear for you this caller I want to talk to. Caller, good morning. Go ahead. We have Raleigh on the line. Go ahead, please.
A blessed morning to you. And Mr. Raleigh also too. Thanks for the occasion to be on the spice. The spice that despise lies. I just want them to know that Angela Brown-Burke, she did not get her doctorate online. She went to college and she entered into the politics with her doctorate. So she did not come up by her colleagues around her. That was a threat to her, so that she had to go online to get doctorate. She earned it by her success.
Yeah, but by the way, whether I get it online or not, it doesn't make no difference because that is.
Hold on the caller. Go ahead, Raleigh. Raleigh, go ahead. Where's Raleigh?
You hear me, Colin?
Yeah, go ahead. You were saying something about Angela. Raleigh, we hear you when you speak a while ago. You were saying something about Angela. I don't know if Raleigh not hearing us, because I'm still hearing little something in the background. I don't know if Raleigh not hearing us. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, you haven't heard me, what I've said.
We are just hearing you now. Go ahead. I just turn you back on.
Okay. I've said earlier that thank you for admitting me on the...
No, man, I hear what you said earlier about Angela Brownberg earning her doctorate. You know, she go to school, she never earned it online. We heard all of that.
Yes. So therefore, the labor rights must know that she is a woman of credibility. When she stands, she talk with truth. So just leave her alone, because she did not come up with no competition of her own around her, comrades around her, like some there that get their doctorate because of those that are around them that have been threatened. So they have to go and get their doctorate. Angela is a firm doctorate in her studies and in her character. Thank you. That's what I have to say.
All right, sir. Thank you. All right. I could see if we get back. Yeah, man. Raleigh, you back with us?
Yeah, man.
All right. We're hearing you loud.
And the point I'm making, it no matter whether I get your doctorate online or from brick and mortar, because online is the way everything is going right now. So that is a foolish argument.
Yeah, that not really carry no water. Once you get it legitimately, you can get it online. You can go in person.
Whatever.
It no make no difference.
Yeah, man.
No, Raleigh,
and the trend is on.
Yeah, continue.
The trend is online now. Digital world. Rubbish.
Yes. Raleigh, talk to us about oil on the world market, my brother. Where did it end this week?
West Texas Intermediate cushion is at 104 and Brent is at 110.
Hold on, caller. 104 and 110. And this is the first time we see go over 100 since the war and stay there. Because it is there now for a couple of days, right?
Because the Iranian Supreme Leader, Mustafa Khamenei, said they might exercise them rights toward the Straits of Hormuz. No matter what I'm going to say, that non-negotiable.
Let's take a call. Caller, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yes, my grand heritage.
Blessings.
Styles FM.
No, this is not Styles FM. This is Portland Spice TV.
Okay. I told me, see, I get the call and I have the number saved as Style FM, so I thought it was Style FM, yeah?
Okay, well, no, not Styles. Go ahead.
What's the subject again?
All right, I think you did a call, you know. Is that all right? You did a call and we just return it. All right, give thanks. 1-876-804-7072. See, Nevio, your people see me. Nevio, morning.
Morning, Mr. Bell. Raleigh's around?
Yeah, man, Raleigh's online. Go ahead.
Raleigh, I noticed a release yesterday on the stock exchange from Guardian and NCB, where NCB is selling his merchant bank in Trinidad to Guardian. And I noticed that NCB is selling some of his subsidiary to companies in which they have majority shares in. And I'm wondering if his money just moving in the same company and NCB will still benefit when these companies they sell to Guardian and then Bermuda Bank. If NCB will still benefit when these companies makes a profit.
Yeah, man, because remember, the parent company, the National Commercial Bank, whenever they consolidate and cut down on some of them assets, and then when them sell them to Guardian, They make money because they might forget a share of the profits because them is a leading shareholder in Guardian. Guardian generated profits of 100 million during the first quarter of this year. Yeah, so it benefits the parent company. And also a consolidation. You don't have too much things scattered all over the place. Right.
When they get this money now by selling the Trinidadian merchant banks, would they be paying a percentage of it to shareholders, or they will just put it back in investment?
Well, the directors are determined that whether they might increase the dividend. If you notice, them start pay a dividend again. So the directors are determined whether they might use it to boost them capital base in order to meet Basel III, or whether they might distribute more to the shareholders. But then we have the money, and then they will decide what they might do with the money. Right now, they might pay 50 cents per share. Maybe they move it up to 55 cents or 60 cents per share.
What's the value of NCB right now?
It will trade somewhere in the region of $50, $60 thereabouts.
$50, $60 they're trading at now.
Yeah. But so right now it is a steal.
Hold on, Neville. Hold on, Neville. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Them are come down from $240 per share. So somebody who buy it at $60 now, if you keep that for maybe 3 or 4 years, is a steal. You make a big money. So now is a time to buy, not to sell.
Go ahead, Neville.
I noticed really that they're not quoting the price they are selling the merchant bank for. They tell you that they have this agreement, but you don't get a clue what the price is like. You have an idea, Raleigh?
No, but that's something that we can research and find out.
Okay, I would have loved to. Because
in fact, we just get a WhatsApp from Leaching, so by the end of the day, we find out what about it.
I would have loved to when you come back to give us an idea, because it is that stock is on my watch list, and I like when you mentioned that it's a time to buy now.
I feel say you have some shares in there already, you know. You have some shares in NCB already, man.
So make sure you hold what you have in there, and if you can buy more, buy some more.
Listen to what Raleigh saying. Raleigh said make certain you hold what you have, and if you can buy some more.
As Leaching said, buy whole and prosper.
As I talk about that Raleigh, it is now selling at $52. Would you believe is that good buy?
You know that the man has said.
Yeah, man, right time buy. We might have come from 240, you know.
Yeah.
And it is going to go back up there, Raleigh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That may I tell you.
Colin, this one is for you before I go.
Yes.
The government is about to spend billions of taxpayers' dollars to build a new parliament, which deserves. I agree that we need a new parliament.
It shouldn't be.
Not deserve right now.
It
not
shouldn't
right
be
now.
in the top 10. It should not be in the top 10 of priority, right?
Not right now.
But anyway, the point I want to make. This damn rubbish they have in the parliament from ancient days, both it represents king and queen, monarchy, and not we touch it and so forth, which I totally believe it shouldn't be there. When they build a new parliament with the poor black people of Jamaica taxpayers money, are you going to put this damn rubbish in the parliament and say it cannot be touched while the parliament is in session and all these damn things? Are they going to fling it to once and for all?
Well, before we can fling it where, we have to get rid of the king as the head of state. Yeah? And your government don't want to get rid of the Privy Council, because we are saying we must cut all ties with the British monarch as the head of Jamaica. And by cutting all ties, we must move the king as the head of state and move the Privy Council as our final appellate court. Then you cut all ties. And we want all of that in one. We don't want part and left part. All right? The people, the people in the chat room say I must ask you about the voice note. What is in that voice note? Because people keep asking about the voice note. I don't hear it. It's why in there. Tell us.
what happened, we have a GLP group where we discuss in-house matters.
Yes.
And we did, because as you hear, I tell you on your program that we have some GLP bloggers who are doing more harm to the Labour Party or on good.
Yes.
They don't discuss issue. What they do, them attack. And they might use some words out of them mouth
Neville.
for instance.
All right, continue. Sorry, continue.
For instance, Malalo Fort now, the Parliament is a place for conscience. But the PNP and the GLP over the years, as I chat the Parliament, capture the Parliament and deal with party come first. But when the people send you to Parliament, they send you to vote and to debate things based on your conscience. And there's particular GLP people who is attacking Malalo Fort and them have said something about the poor lady and so, because the lady believe within herself and that's so and so, and she vote based. She are entitled to that rights in the Parliament.
But the GLP is a cult, so if you broke ranks, you're going to pay the price.
And you have PNP people who believe the same thing to what. I'm not business with them because them in a different ship from me. We have some of these GLP bloggers who are doing more harm to the Labour Party more and good. And I was saying in this GLP WhatsApp group that these bloggers need to rein up and need to make them know that they're not helping the Labour Party. Well, somebody leak the voice note them to some PNP WhatsApp group or WhatsApp social media thing and so, and then play it out there. It's neither here or there to me. It's just that I want things to be done in a way which will help the Labour Party, not to.
All right, I'll leave right.
But before Nephew go, we could tell him he's gone.
Yeah, but tell him still listen. He's gone, but him a listen.
Here's what is here and there. Exports tumbled by 13.4% to 1.6 billion. It couldn't even pay the oil bill, much less the food bill, much less the raw material bill. That is what they need for concentrate on about Parliament building. Total garbage.
Yeah, it should not be in the top 10 of priority. There are more things that are more critical to the survival of the Jamaican people that we need more than a Parliament building. There is a building that is doing its job at the minute, and we can continue for right now until we start growing the economy. We must be able to build that without borrowed funds.
That building is not doing its job, because if they do the job, we know what the rest of the world 5.8 billion now. Yeah? So the trade deficit is the amount of money that we owe the world from our productive efforts. So we have to depend on tourism and we have to depend on remittances, two things that are very fickle right now to clear that bill. Yep.
So that trade deficit rally, 5 million plus, where we get the money from?
5.8 billion US dollars.
Where we get the money from to do that 5.8 billion?
Tourism and remittances. And in any good year, we only get 1.8 billion from tourism in any good year. And then the remittances come to $3 billion. Yeah. So that is 4.8. That's the point I'm making to you. I said that are good. Those are in good years. We don't have good years now, so we're not going to get that money from tourism, and we're not going to get that money from remittances. Jet fuel is short. European Airlines are cut flights. American Airlines are cut flights. So tourism get a heavy shot. So we're not going to get the 1.8 billion from tourism this year. Plus the cost of living arise right across the world. So the Jamaicans in America, they're not going to send back any 3 billion or any 3.5 billion this year. So we have a big problem right now. Yeah? Try remember that.
I'm going to take this call, but when you take this call and come back, Raleigh, I want you to talk about the American debt. What is happening in the United States of America right now? Let's take the call and come back. Caller, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Thank you for having me, Colin. Thank you for my fellowship in the fellowship. And thank you, Uncle Ralston. I have this question for Uncle Ralston. Uncle Ralston is NCB. Because I admire him leaching, no matter what anybody want to tell me, me admire that Chinese man. Because him is smart and him no fool. Brexit and the new change of money business with the Commonwealth from Canada, New Zealand, Japan, them find out other ways around the US dollar. Is these changes, as you were saying with NCB, they're conglomerating or them doing, with Guardian and all the shifting on the financial chessboard, Uncle Ralston. Should we as Jamaicans or outsiders and the diaspora start to do some more investing? And if you don't mind telling us where we should be investing into Jamaica or anywhere else on this financial chessboard, because me, said the money business changing tree. And no $1 anymore. We have Brexit. We have the new one with the Canadian Prime Minister sorted out. Me listening. I'm coming off the phone now. Colin?
Raleigh, you heard the caller? No, it's Raleigh must answer you, but we lost Raleigh, Okay, him come back.
Wait, then me now come off me and stay there because I don't hear me.
Raleigh, did you hear the caller, Raleigh?
Yeah, back again.
Did you hear the caller a while ago? Did you hear the caller, Raleigh?
Repeat.
Did you hear the caller a while ago?
No, what you said?
All right, caller, repeat.
The NCB consolidating with Guardian because, as you said, they own a lot, so much shares in Guardian. Is this due to Brexit and the new money exchange machinery on the world market away from the US dollar? And if it is, where should we be investing now? Because the financial chessboard is changing to 3. And so please give us a little tip in the diaspora home locally. What we should do now? Thanks. That's my question.
All right, go ahead, Raleigh.
Yeah, so the point I make is that has nothing to do with what is happening. What NCB is doing is consolidating its balance sheet. Them have too much little companies all about the place and them things. So them do consolidate the amount of subsidiaries them have, generate more cash for the parent company and bolster them capital base. So 2 different decisions. Now, in terms of what is happening globally, what happens is that everybody start looking to the east now. Asia, China, Africa, and those places, because them to say Europe and America kind of back. The American empire is falling, and even the Europeans now start look east because they say America is an unreliable partner with Donald Trump. So even European investors, the more I look to, all of them are going to make deal with China, they might make deal with Asia, they might make deal with Africa. Because Africa is now the place where everybody is looking. Yeah. So if you look at Jamaica, the housing sector is a very important sector, and the energy sector is a very important sector if you look in Jamaica right now. Food is also very important. Agriculture is also massive. As we said, we import 2.1 billion in food and consumer goods, and we only export 62 million. So that's another area. Food, energy security, and infrastructure. People want affordable house, people want affordable food, and people want affordable energy.
Caller, go ahead. That's it, caller, you good?
Uncle Ralston, thank you very much. Yes, everything else you're on point this morning. Me already talk in the chat and me listening. Colin and Uncle Ralston, me telling you, blessings on your household and your family, and may the Almighty guide and protect you all. I'm
One
back
love.
to class.
One love. Raleigh, the
And
American
transfer some money out of US dollar and buy precious metals, gold and silver and them thing there right now.
Talk to us about the American economy, Raleigh. Where is it right now? What is happening with it? I saw an article this morning that the debt is spiraling.
One reason why Donald want to off-ramp on a peace deal is that the economy is spiraling down. The US economy recorded its lowest growth rate in 4 years at the end of last year, 2.1%. and the debt is $40 trillion, the actual debt right now. But if you put in people, things like the social security and all of them things there, the debt is over $100 trillion. So you have the right, the debt as it speak right now, $40 trillion. US GDP is $30 trillion. But implied debt, when you look at commitments to social security and all of them things there, you look at over $100 trillion. So the American economy is basically bankrupt. And one of the things that the Iranians are doing, so the Iranians are saying, yeah, you can drop bomb, you can drop this, and you can drop that. What we're going to do is stall the international economy and stall your economy by controlling the straits. So we can drive up the price of crude, we can drive up the price of fertilizer, we can drive up every price and accelerate inflation. Bank of England is projecting 6.2% inflation. Them thing they unheard of. Them man they talk about 2%. The Fed is also projecting core inflation of 3.2% next year, when them target is 2%. So every central bank, either them put interest rates on hold or them say them are going to hike interest rates. When you hike interest rates, it means that you slow down the economy and the economy grow less. People lose them work, businesses have to close, and you have protracted recession. Everybody has say you got a recession in the US within the next 6 months if the war continues.
What is happening in
spiraling
Jamaica,
down?
Talk about the Jamaican economy, the way. Explain the Jamaican economy to us now, the way you just explain the American economy.
So that's the global situation.
So what is happening in Jamaica now, Raleigh?
The American economy has dragged down the world economy because of the war.
Speak to us about Jamaican economy now.
You got it, Colin?
Yeah, man. Speak to us about the Jamaican economy now.
Colin?
I am hearing you, Raleigh. I am hearing you loud and clear. Speak to us about the Jamaican economy now. We are hearing Raleigh, but it sounds like him not hearing us. And we lost him again. That explanation of the American economy, the world economy, what is happening? What is happening to the Jamaican economy? The Jamaican economy is in big problem. Raleigh is waiting on the numbers from Statin, but it is clear that Jamaica is in a recession. Jamaica is in a recession right now. Last quarter of 2025 dropped by 7%. Them say, yes, Raleigh, we wanted you to tell us about the Jamaican economy, just like how you spoke to us about the American economy.
Yeah, repeat.
I'm saying just the way you explained the American economy a while ago, we wanted you to explain what is happening in the Jamaican economy now.
Well, the Jamaican economy is basically in the same position and will also spiral down because last year the economy dipped by 7.1%. Every sector declined. And we see the trade deficit is widening now, which means that you need to bring in more money from tourism and remittances. You can't bring in more money from remittances and tourism because those things are determined by what is happening in the external environment. Jet fuel is $200 per barrel. So all of the European airlines, them are cut flights and all of them. We get about 20% of our tourists from Europe. The American airlines, them, some of them are local bailout from the American government right now because jet fuel too expensive. And they have to raise the ticket prices, they have to raise baggage handling fees. The American people are facing higher cost of living. So they're not traveling much because of that and because of the war and all of them things. So the Jamaican economy needs a stimulus. Bank of Jamaica still a mop up liquidity. They are now projecting inflation at 7.5%, which is conservative. So you see more liquidity mopping up. And the administration is taxing. So it's a major problem for consumers right now. People can't buy nothing. Yep. So we see separate, we see Lasco, we see Grace Kennedy, everybody increasing the prices of basic commodities. So housewives and everybody will be facing a higher cost of living.
And over $40 added to the price of gas, or a liter of gas, since the beginning of the war.
Yeah, man, since the start of the war.
Yep. We have a caller on the line. I'm going to the caller soon. But last year, the opposition said that the government was going to put tax on Airbnb. Edmund Bartlett came out and rubbish it, say a lie, not no gossip. They have finally done that. They passed that bill on Tuesday night. What effect will that have on business?
That comes into effect on April 1 of next year. So a lot of people who get some food from Airbnb, which amounted to about 32 billion last year, are going to have a significant problem because less people are traveling, so you're going to have less occupancy level. And you have to pay over 15% of whatever you get. So that's another major problem. And it's going to affect the construction sector too.
Caller, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. Go ahead, please.
Morning, Mr. Bell.
Yes, I am.
Morning, Ralston.
Morning.
All right, so me I say some things in about, but you know, go to the final part of it. You're saying the American economy is collapsing, our empire is falling, and one would know that based on history, once a major empire like America is going to fall, they're not just going to fall and accept falling, which means we're gonna have World War III, right?
It no start already.
Is what? Yeah. It's not long term. It start from the effect of it, you know. They are crumbling the economy as we speak. You hear me?
No, I was saying if World War III no start already.
Long time, man. I was saying the proxy wars are going on, you know, and you have wars all over the place. But them are war under guys as if a different country, or what are really America or Russia.
All right, hold on, caller. Hold on. You have a question for Raleigh because we're gonna make Raleigh go because Raleigh is still on the road. Just a squeeze in.
No, man, that's not my man. Go on.
Hold on. You good, Raleigh?
Yeah, man, good, man. Go on.
All right, continue, caller. Go ahead.
Yes, but the question, because the thing is, you know, there's one final destination to this result, all of this will take place, you know, and it's World War III. And when World War III take place, a lot of people going dead for hunger, going dead in fights. You're going to have civil unrest. All these things that we speak about naturally is going to happen. They're going to try to bring in a new solution, which is going to be digital currency. All that's going to take place. But Ralston said some things, but he did not say that America is going to fall. And if America is going to fall, they're going to have World War III, which eventually is going to mean that no matter what Jamaica do now, we're going to collapse in the same manner.
Yeah, but you don't think we can do nothing, brother, if even prolong the thing? What about food security?
Jamaica do?
We should have deal with food security right now.
All of that can be done for a short time period. But what happens when World War III starts? They're gonna have blockades and trading, which means you're not gonna have food coming into your country.
But obviously, as it start, Jamaica going to collapse because we don't have no food security at all, Raleigh.
I never said it's not gonna collapse. I'm not saying it's gonna collapse immediately. You know, I'm saying the ultimate result of it is going to lead to what you are trying to kick down the road. That's the point I'm not trying to make. You're kicking the can down the road. They say, all right, we can do this now, but the end result is what you're knowledge.
You're breaking up, caller.
The end result is we're going to have World War III, and it means that a lot of people is going to die. I will not have a long time period.
All right.
Very, very soon.
All right, sir. Respect.
All right.
Respect and thanks. Raleigh. Raleigh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The caller is saying...
Yeah, man, I hear you.
The caller is saying a lot of people going to die when you have World War III. A lot of people are dying. In fact, Rylan, come here. Because yesterday...
Yes, say what my response to that?
Yes.
So, what was it right now? Right now, the current crisis is like a semi-World War III. Yep.
Yes.
But here where mommy so the US empire, right? The fallen US empire is being stock-feeded by the stabilizing of Xi Jinping and China. So China is taking over from the US as the new world power. You follow me? I said here?
Yeah.
So film scenario, it's not gonna happen abruptly. So China is now taking over because China have a thing with them called soft diplomacy. Yeah? So if you notice, how Xi Jinping are moving out of the war. Xi Jinping from behind the scene help Pakistan help stabilize the war because China knows that them are the next superpower, them are take over from Russia. So although World War III is inevitable, yeah, for now, the Chinese have stabilized the world situation. So if I argue that and say, oh, because the US empire go down, Jamaica can't do nothing, it's fallacious. Simple.
Yesterday, my son, how much people you said die every what? Every day?
Every day. About over 170,000 people die in one day.
And how many born?
About 300,000 people are born every day.
All right. That I'm a 10-year-old son. You'll be what, 11 this year? I'm a 10-year-old son that tell me that yesterday. How much people die every day. So people die every day. And people are going to die.
Man.
But that doesn't say we mustn't ensure that as a nation we have food security. We must sort out with food security, and that is one of the things that we have not been doing, Raleigh.
Yeah, man, that's just an excuse, man. What I said, the US empire will be succeeded by another empire. So that no means so we can't do that. That's a foolish argument.
Let me finish. We have Neville on the line. Neville,
Hello?
morning.
Hello, good morning, Colin. Good morning, my guru, Ralston man.
Yes, Neville.
Colin.
Yes.
The diaspora. I hear a lady asks about what can the diaspora do relating to the banking system.
Yeah.
Not only the banking system, but the tax system. All Jamaicans who live overseas need to check out their double taxation. What is the policy between Jamaica and where they live and double taxation? Jamaica do have double taxation treaty with a lot of countries. And if you pay your tax in one country and you carry your assets into Jamaica, you might have to pay tax again if they do have a double taxation treaty. You have to check with your tax people or your accountant to find out if you are leaving from Australia to come back into Jamaica as a Jamaican citizen, if there's a double taxation treaty between Jamaica and Australia and New Zealand. I know they have double taxation with most of the countries in Europe and in America. That is one of the key things that they will have to check out before they move back the asset. Because when come a point in the war where they're going to have tax assessment, they're going to want to ask you, where you get so much money from to put up this big house and we don't have in our tax system at the tax office. And that is where you have to go prove your source of income. You follow?
Yes, yes.
Secondly, you must remember that the needs bill, not the needs bill, the Kroll report is not yet out regarding SSL, neither the FinSAC report. The FinSAC report was a bailout, and the Kroll report represents a bail-in. So any money you have in the banking system, which is above 1.2 million, split up your bank account into smaller accounts all over the place to 1.5, 1.2 million, so that if the banking system should have a bail-in or a bailout again, the insurance will cover your accounts. Because hide and seek the plane and dolly house.
Raleigh. How stable is Jamaica's banking sector right now?
Right now, the banking sector is stable. There is no problem right now. Non-performing loans climb. It is still below 5% of the total loans and advances with about $1.6 trillion. So there's no problem in the banking sector right now.
But with what is happening, the lack of production in Jamaica, we're not earning where we out of this problem. How do we see the future for the banking system?
Well, that is why government policy needs to change. That's the point I'm making. So it is the government policy that is going to put the sector into problem if we don't start producing some goods and services. But right now, there's no problem in the sector.
Never.
Yeah, Colin, one of the things we must guard against, is when people start get panic and want their money to get on with their daily life and pay the bills. You might have a bank run, and that run will cause a serious liquidity problem. Because when leave you with this, Colin.
Yes.
In World War II, 25 million Russians died, and most of them die of starvation.
Oh.
Approximately a lot of millions of Chinese died due to starvation. And you hear what Putin say? Imagine Russia plays so much role in ridding the world of Adolf Hitler. And now all the countries that him helped, Russia helped during World War II, including Israel, are pointing his gun at Russia through NATO proxy war. And even Iran, when they take up the spent shell off the ground of these bombs and things, these bombs are made in Europe and made in America and made in Israel. So we are black people around this side of the world, Jamaican, must not realize that. Must realize that 25 million Russian and Chinese not going to die for us again in this war, you know. Because this war going to be more economic than physical. So that is where the rubber hit the road.
All right, Neville, respect.
Hey, make sure, hey, Ralston, man.
Yeah, man.
Colin Bell.
Yes, Neville.
You go have to be the difference in this economy between the common man and the government and the diaspora, you know. This is the chance.
That's what we're doing.
To educate the people financially, to let them get financially literate.
Yes, yes. All right.
And Ralston, we need you in the Senate. We need you in the Senate by now in September, you know.
Yeah, well, somebody have to appoint you.
Let's take another call. Morning, welcome to the Colin Bell Show. We have Ralston Hyman on the line. I think you're going to be the final call this morning. Go ahead.
Blessed top of the morning, Colin.
Yeah, man.
People in Portland Spice. Anyway, Ralston, blessed top of the morning to you, my brother.
Yeah, man, blessings.
The narrative that this person would say that World War III is coming and we going to be in problem. I think that's ridiculous. And when you actually, I can say World War I started to happen in Jamaica already at what is going on now. I can say that. Look at our neighbor Cuba, which is under embargo for 50 years. 50 years, and they are able to manage. We are not under embargo. And you see where one government in Jamaica already taught us how to do self-reliance. So when you say we need to do food security, that's where we really need to start from. We were taught already how to do self-reliance, so we can manage. I don't see, there's no need for us to think that World War is coming and we're gonna play dead and roll over. There's no need for that. So we shouldn't be panicked. We shouldn't be panicked.
Well, Carla, let me tell you something. I am panicking because we have a government that is not moving towards food security, who is not moving towards energy security, and therefore that calls for panic. What say you, Raleigh?
Well, what we need to do is to urge them and do whatever we can to tell the people that these things are the priority. All that destructive nonsense in the parliament about Mason and all them garbage there and parliament building, them things are just total garbage. What we need to do is focus on the trade figures, because the trade figures tell us about the efficiency of production. Yeah? So what we want to know is build up more and more debt to buy the most basic needs for the country when we should be producing them. So them things we're supposed to talk about all this nonsense about who touch Mason crap. Yeah, those are distractions. While those things are going, we have build up more debt with the rest of the world. What we need to do is start producing and stop build up debt with the rest of the world. And we need to focus on energy. We need to focus on food. And we need to focus on housing and infrastructure.
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right, go ahead now, Carla.
And don't get me wrong when I said World War III is going on right now. I'm talking about the government right now. They are the World War III right now going on in the country. So if we can face through this, we have to see where we have to do what we have to do by start to deal with self-reliance. self-reliance. You don't want to, this government don't want to hear it. And when you look at the things happening, getting rid of the young people, them, the young men, them who should be out here to help the producing and everything. That's a part of the World War III that is taking place in Jamaica right now. Going to the hospital and you don't have good health care. That's a part of the World War III that is taking care of, because thinking about it, the people them are dying out just like World War III right now in Jamaica.
All right, my brother. Give
What
thanks.
say you? Yes, sir.
Chris said Jamaican people don't understand the basic economy and what is happening in the Jamaican economy. Raleigh, what you want to say to us finally this morning?
Well, what we're saying is that the global crisis is escalating and we have to reduce our dependence on imported goods and services because we are not, we are not exporting in order to pay for these things. And these things, the sectors that we are depending on, tourism and remittances, they are the main sectors that are under stress because of the war, and they are going to come under more stress. Even if the war ends tomorrow, we are going to have a problem with earnings from tourism. We are going to have a problem with remittance flows. Therefore, we need to be doing more import substitution, that is producing things in order to reduce our import bill. Now, may I say to you, just the food and consumer goods bill and the energy bill and the raw material bills are like 3 times our total export earnings. That's a very bad situation that we want the Prime Minister and the hapless Minister of Finance and the hapless Speaker to focus on and stop the nonsense that is going on in the Parliament.
Someone please answer me why the Chinese who make so much money in Jamaica and pay no tax. Something goes so Raleigh? The Chinese don't pay tax in Jamaica, is that true?
Well, not enough. I mean, there's some truism to that because the Chinese operate on a cash basis and sometimes outside of the formal system. So we need to fix that problem. So when the authorities are talking about increasing taxes, that is what the area them supposed to be looking at, because the Chinese not too operating on the banking system. So we need to do that, because when them not do that, most of the money go back to China, money that we should be getting. Yeah, so that's true.
And what effect would the digital invoicing have on that?
Yeah, that is why what Julian was saying about the digital invoicing is so key. Yeah, because I get some of that money, because most of the Chinese money gets siphoned off and go to China. Remember, the retail sector is the largest economic sector and it is dominated by the Chinese. So if you not collect no taxes from the largest sector in the economy, then you must have a problem.
About what percentage of the taxes we are collecting from that sector?
I'd say no more than 20%. And that's the largest sector of the economy.
So
yeah, man, that's how the Chinese them operate, man. Yeah. Yeah. And that is something that we're supposed to discuss with them. Yeah, them shouldn't have a problem with that. The people at the Chinese embassy, them shouldn't have a problem with that. Even within the construction sector, them get most of the work and them get most of the concessions and them pay little taxes. So that affect the Jamaican construction sector and the people who are in the Jamaican construction sector. Yep. Chinese get concessions and equipment and all of them, something that local contractors don't get.
All right, Raleigh, make we talk Monday, no brother. Respect and thanks.
By the way, the search is out for a new BOJ governor.
Oh, yes.
And the problems with the ATM machine, them still not fixed yet.
Oh,
the problems with supervising the banking sector still not fixed yet after 7 years. Yep.
The banks in Port Antonio, especially Scotia Bank, you can't deposit no money at Port Antonio through the machines.
Right.
Yep. You cannot deposit any money in Port Antonio. Let me see
right now, I come from down at Ligani, and most of the ATM machines them now work, including Mr. Duncan machine, who's an important part of the government.
Who is a senator?
Yeah, and the governor leave after 7 years, and those simple problems have not been fixed.
So the government of Jamaica has been unable to fix the banking issues that we are having with ATM, with depositing our money, withdrawing our money. We have to be paying the bank to deposit our money and pay them
precisely
back.
Yep. And they have appointed a search committee to search for the governor, which include most of their people. So we
So they
don't
are-
know what will take place already.
And they are also searching for a CEO for the NARA, right?
Yeah. So we don't know what will take place already. Because the search committee are most of them people. So we know say I want for them people.
Who you think could be a good governor, Raleigh? You have anybody in mind who you think could fit the bill right now?
Well, if them a look locally, Albany couldn't be the right man, the man who made them a town. Yeah? If them a look locally, the two names I'm here, Patrick Hilton would be the better of the two names.
Patrick Hilton, who was at NCB, right?
Yeah, who used to run FinSAC. He's now the president of the PSOJ. He would be a better person than Albany. Albany too connected to the party in order to be the governor.
Okay. All right, Raleigh, big up yourself and thanks. We talk Monday.
All right, blessed love.
One love, my brother. You want a second bite of the cherry? Wagwan.
Right, let's have one quick point that I want to make.
Yeah.
Our people need to educate themselves and know what they're speaking on. World War III will not be like World War I or II, where people they are fought with just guns. This is a nuclear war. But the bombs are dropped on America. There are fault lines that run through the Caribbean, go straight through America. When those fault lines are troubled, you will also have tsunamis. So to say that, yeah, we can prepare for this, there's no preparation for it. Like, you have to about government and everything. The people need to educate themselves on what we are facing.
So, all right.
A
So we're gonna
war.
just put up where and answer when it come with dead. We're not do nothing dead.
No, there's a way out, but it's not the way we not view it.
What is the way out?
The way out is through God.
All right, my brother. Makes sense. That make a whole heap of sense. Seek God and everything will come after. That make a whole heap of sense. In Jesus Christ, there is rest and peace and safety. We don't have no problem with that. But people are going to die. Yeah, man. I want to take the time to thank everybody for joining us this morning. We'll be with you again tomorrow morning. Start at 8:30 tomorrow morning for Talk Jamaica. Want to thank Senator Cleveland Tomlinson. Want to thank Ralston Hyman. Want to thank you, the listeners and viewers and subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed to Portland Spice TV, we invite you to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell to ensure that whenever we are on, you are on. The most credible discussion on governance in Jamaica is right here on Portland Spice TV. The top economic discussion on social media is on Portland Spice TV at YouTube. And we're going to extend that to you. So listen out, more is coming. This has been the Colin Bell Show for yet another Saturday morning. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again tomorrow morning for Talk Jamaica. Peace be with you, my people. One love. Yeah, man, and stay safe, you know. And remember, once again, like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell. Peace, my people.
Tell them to try pre-we, big up Portland Spice TV. Tell them to try pre-we, big up Portland Spice TV. Remember to subscribe. See, Portland Spice TV, Louis Culture say it once, so I say it again. Portland Spice TV. We are going to hold them and pop it off. Bogus badge where we rip off. Subscribe, share, Portland